Yeah, boy. Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Looking a little rough right now. It's Florida time. It's a tornado, hurricane, all that good stuff. But I'm okay. Don't worry about me. So I'm going to talk about this movie, Birth, Rebirth. I thought it was pretty good. You know, if you're a horror fan, I like this type of horror movie. It's like there's some real horror in this thing, psychological horror. Um, but it's also, I guess, spoilers, by the way. Should you see this movie or should you not? If you're a horror fan, if you've got a strong stomach, I say go see it. If you're not typically a horror fan, you probably could see this one, and I'll give you some reasons why. First of all, we're going to get into some spoilers here. This is not a slasher film. This is not a monster movie. This is not a blood and guts in the traditional sense of horror film. Let's go with my fucking face. But basically, what's it about? It's there's a hospital. There's this nurse who works at the hospital. She's got a young daughter. She's a single mom. She goes to work one day or one night, and her daughter's not feeling well. So she has the next door neighbor look after her daughter. And then she gets this unfortunate phone call or a series of phone calls that her daughter was actually took ill with some type of legitimate serious illness and had to go to the hospital, the same hospital where the lady works. And her daughter did not make it. You know, her young, precious 6-year-old daughter basically died. Now, in the meantime, we also meet this character that's really kind of the center piece of the movie in my book. Marin Ireland plays this evil doctor who is and she's kind of like a mad scientist type. She's kind of a Dr. Frankenstein. She is playing the doctor who I'm all coffee, sorry. Um, she's trying to she's taking some of the bodies from the hospital. I guess she's kind of a mortician of sorts. She's taking like an in-house mortician. I'm not sure what the exact title was, if she was a doctor or whatever the fuck she was, but she's taking these bodies, you know, freshly dead people. She's taking them home and she's experimenting on how to basically revive the dead. And her first experiment apparently was with a pig, like a literal pig, not a human being, but a pig. And she's successfully reincarnated this pig. Now she's going to do this with the young child, the recently deceased child, not knowing that the child is actually from a nurse in the very hospital. Now, when the nurse, who's gotten this horrible news that her daughter has died, is looking to, you know, make a proper funeral and so forth, she's sadly discovers that her daughter's body has gone missing. And so she kind of, you know, starts investigating, and she finds herself at at the home, the apartment of the evil doctor, and she busts in there, and she sees her daughter that she's been told is dead is basically on a bed laid out with all this recitation stuff and stuff in her veins. And she's like, what the hell's going on here? I thought my daughter was dead. Why is she here? And why is what's going on? And she finds out that her daughter is pretty much dead, but still has a chance to be revived, like a zombie of sorts. And the experimental nature of the study becomes clear, and the evil mayor in Ireland and the nurse mother kind of go into this uneasy truce or this uneasy collaboration. For Marin's character, she's just in it for the science, in it for the playing God, so to speak. And then the more sympathetic character, played by Celia Morales, Judy Rees, the nurse, she wants to see if her daughter can be recitated or resuscitated. I'm trying to find the name of the kid that played the kid here because she was actually pretty good. So the girl, the little kid, was actually a really good actor, and I think she did about as good of a job as you could as a young little actress there. So I guess her name is AJ Lister, and you know, she's been in a few things: A Haunting, Challengers, uh, child actress who really did a nice job in this thing. By the way, this Ireland lady, Meryl Ireland, or what's her name? Marin Ireland. If you haven't seen her before, she's really good. She's really good for horror. She's a attractive woman, but she kind of has an interesting face. Like her eyes are kind of very powerful and so forth. And she's really been doing some good horror films. She was also in The Boogeyman recently. So here's the thing. I think this is the type of movie, like this is the type of horror film that I find to be really scary. Like because the nature of this film is that it's realistic. I mean, there's probably fucking scientists doing this stuff right now. So I think that this movie is something that if you like horror films, you probably should go see this one. My buddy Carl's checking in. How you doing, Carl? I'm going to be reviewing. I'm going to be catching up on some of my movie reviews today, buddy. So hang with me because you're going to see some more reviews. So I thought this movie was pretty good, um, and I enjoyed it. So as far as the storyline, the twists and turns, everything is pretty interesting. It's not a cliched film. It's a good movie. It's a good horror film, uh, and I liked it. How am I, Carl? My buddy Carl's asking me how am I doing in the live chat. I'm doing fine, Carl. I'm just kind of waiting out this storm. There's a storm here in Florida right now. It hasn't really affected me too much, which is good. But the day's still early, so it might wipe me out. Who knows? But as far as people, the people that may not want to see this film because it's a horror film, there's people like that just, if a movie is classified as horror, they're not going to go see it. I would say that this is the type of movie that if you like drama, if you like serious drama, you probably could go see this one. This is not as intense as, say, like The Exorcist. It's not a slasher film, like Halloween or the Friday the 13th movies. There's not a boogeyman character like Freddy Krueger. This is a different type of horror. I mean, but this is the horror that can really happen. And I think that's a lot of times the most scary stuff, like stuff that's within the realm of possibility. All right, that's it. MikeMessier.com, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. Uh, Subscribe or don't. But you could buy my book. Here's my wonderful novel. Have you bought this yet, Carl? On Amazon, hardcover, Distance from Avalon. My wonderful novel. And I'll talk to you folks later. I'll be here for another review in just a minute. So stay tuned, Carl, and everybody else. Stay tuned.